Hey you guys, it's me, the chocolate lady. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm all set up here. My son was helping me, so I didn't have to get up, but we'll see if it actually came up or not. I've got my iPad off to the side here so I can see what you all see and say hello and answer any questions you might have. Okay, looks like I'm on. Okay, so today I've got a couple of projects I wanted to show you all. One's with this stencil, the Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I really, really like this transfer. I like the size of it too. I think it's going to be pretty easy to work with. Then I'm also doing a little project with this Whopper here, a bushel and a peck. This is the cutest thing ever. Like, I don't know who came up with this design, but I love it so much. It's going to be adorable. This is the one I'm doing on a reverse canvas, and if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it in just a little bit. So this morning, I prepared just a little bit for this. I got my, sorry, I'm trying to pull this up a little bigger here. There we go. And I think, sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. I've got my comments turned on here, I do believe. Okay, so this is just a canvas that I bought in bulk at a craft store, and I wanted to dress it up a little bit more because it was just a little bit plain. And I'm hearing an echo, hold on. Jeez guys, sorry. Where is it? There we go. Okay, all better. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is a canvas that I bought at the craft store, and it was a plain canvas, and so I had this idea based on something I purchased a long time ago at the store for one of my kids, to make my own frame using paint. So I just took Scotch tape and taped off the edges one side at a time, and I did this side and this side, let it dry, and then I did the bottom part to make a little frame for the canvas. And then one of our transfers is a pregnancy and baby milestone transfer. It comes with these cute little dot borders. The strip is like this long, so I only needed pieces of it. So I went ahead and added the little dots on here with one of our transfers, and this is all Chalk Couture paint, which when I'm all done with this project I intend to seal to make it permanent, because I made a couple mistakes on here and I had to fix them, and the black stains a little bit on the white, but so I just took some white paint and covered up one of the mistakes I made right down here, and I can't even tell. I know you all can't, but I can't even tell when I'm sitting this close to it. So anyway, let's get started here. I'm going to do it upside down for you guys. I am going to attempt an ombre effect on this transfer with teal, gray, and black. So I don't have a gray. We have had such great progress with our business lately that we are running out of some stuff. They're getting them back in stock as quickly as possible. So I haven't been able to order the gray yet. So it's simple, actually. Chalk Couture is totally mixable, so you can blend your own colors. So I just took a little bit of black and a little bit of white and made my own gray color today so that I can use that. So my plan is to do teal up top, gray in the middle, black on the bottom. And first I'm going to fuzz my transfer because it's brand new and I've never used it before. It's really sticky, and that's not a huge issue with canvas. It doesn't stick on this as much as, say, like glass or even our solid surface chalkboards. But it's a great idea to fuzz it anyway, because it'll still stick well around the letters, but it's easier to pull up and less likely that you will damage your design when you're done. So just a couple of times there. I'm going to try to lay this down as, oops, upside down for you guys. Try to lay it down as evenly as I possibly can. One of the good things about having a nice border on this is it's easier to square it up. Let's see. Actually, I don't think I did such a bad job the first time. Cool. And even if it didn't look good like this, I'd always just peel it up and do it again. Because it has an adhesive back on it, but it's not so sticky that, like, you know, it's an issue. Just lift it and lay it back down. All right, I got it all laid out here, so I want to make sure that I don't have any air bubbles in it. especially around the silk screen, which is the white parts. It can cause a little bubble effect in your chalk when you pull it up, and it doesn't like ruin the project or anything, but definitely aesthetically would look better if you didn't have that happen. Okay, so I think what I'm going to try to do is do the top 2 lines in teal and kind of start the blend on the top and bottom of this section. Then do gray with this one, and then start to do the gray-black blend here, and then black on the bottom completely. So hopefully this works out pretty good. This is my teal color. They call this Thai teal. Also out of stock right now, but expected to come back in very, very shortly. And these are our 3-ounce container sizes. They're switching all of our colors out to this. That's probably part of the reason it's out of stock, because people were so excited to get the bigger container. And I have never used this color before, so I'm going to give it a little stir here. This is pretty thick, so I'm just going to squirt a little bit of water in here. And y'all, I'm using cake pop sticks. I'll do it over here so I don't get any water on my transfer. Just a little bit of water mixed up. I'm using cake pop sticks to mix it around. So that's what you do. If your chalk paste starts to dry out a little bit, you just add a little bit of water and it's totally fine. Hey Blake! So this is Thai teal. I love this color. Oh my gosh. I would paint a room with this color if I had it. Probably this room actually. Okay, and I've got my squeegees here, and because I'm working on a bigger surface, I'm going to use my angled squeegee. But we do also have the small squeegee, which I cut apart here because I want an even smaller squeegee, but that's the thing about this. It's not expensive, so if you want to cut it down and use it in a different way, you absolutely can. But if you were to buy the small squeegee like by itself, this is what it would look like before I cut the pieces off. So anyway, I'm just going to start with this. Probably ought to get this out and ready. I used the black earlier, but it was a little bit thick, so I'm going to thin it down real quick too. I already stirred with this. Get this the right consistency. And it's a little bit drippy, but not like totally runny, and not so thick. And my grays over here that I mixed, I have these cute little containers. I don't want to waste my chalk paste, so now that it's all mixed up together, and I'm going to be scraping it off, I'm going to be scraping the extra gray into this little container so I can save it and not waste my paste. Alright, let's get started here. Oh, I also have a paper towel right here so that I can do this. Wipe this off after each color, because I do want to blend them in the middle, but I don't want to blend them in the other sections. So this will help keep it separated. I think I'm going to use this side right here. So let's start with the teal. And you just smooth it on right now. And it doesn't really matter if it's thick in the beginning. Actually, for a transfer that's a little bit bigger, I think it's better. It won't dry as quickly, because your paste can dry on your transfer, and it affects the finished product of your design.
Mama,
My son's talking to me. Hold on just a second. Is there something wrong?
I forgot that I set a timer on.
I fixed it. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks. Sorry about that. He graciously let me borrow the iPad that he was playing on so that I could see who's here and who's talking with me while I'm doing this. So I've got this where I want it, and I'm not going to scrape it off yet. I'm going to wait until the very end because I need to blend this bottom part here. I am going to wipe off my squeegee so that I can use it for my gray without blending my colors. So here is my gray. Let's go ahead and do this part with this. And I have dripped Chalk Couture paste all over this table. This is my good dining room table too, so this is not like the kitchen table that the kids use for crafts and has marker and crayon and all kinds of stuff on it. And this just wipes right off, so I don't even worry about it. I don't bother putting any paper down or anything like that on here. Same thing in my kitchen. I use it on my countertops a lot whenever I'm doing this, and I am just a messy crafter. I don't know if there's a lot of us out there. I imagine so. But I make a mess every time I make a project, so no big deal with this stuff. Wipes right off, no problem. So I'm putting my gray on here, and remember this is the gray that I made myself. So it's maybe a little darker than like the elephant gray that we sell, but not by much, I don't think. It's pretty close. Okay, so I got my gray down. Give that a little wipe on here. And now I'm going to throw the black down, and then I'm just going to use my finger to blend the colors a little bit. So I'm trying to work a little quicker here so that my paste colors don't dry. I did wet them. Now the thinner they are, obviously the longer it will take to dry. So, and one of the areas you probably have to worry about drying a little more is like the smaller letters, like down here at the bottom. So I will leave that thick for the moment. Just keep adding this on here. You can see if it gets into the silk screen. So my goal here is to make sure that all of the chalk paste covers the silk screen well. And it almost looks like a little different color if it hasn't gotten through the silk very good. For some reason that is just not going down too good there. Alright, almost done. Alright, and now that I have gotten the letters all covered just about right there, I am just going to, I think I'm just going to take my finger here and kind of blend this out just a little. Looks like my stuff's starting to dry a little bit here, so maybe I should just do this and blend the black in a little bit here. So hopefully whenever I pull this up, it'll be a nice ombre color here. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the extra black off. If you leave extra paste on, you guys can see there's like a line where I'm pulling this off. If you leave the extra paste on, it leaves weird lines in your project work. So you just try to get it as smooth as you can, and then see how that goes. I think while I'm trying to get that going here, I'm going to take a little bit of this, add a little bit more right here. It's starting to dry on me, so I need to get a move on. Probably ought to thin my paste down a little bit better next time. And then I'll throw a little gray on top of this to make sure that it blends out a little bit better. And another thing too, if your paste starts to dry on you like this, you can put a damp paper towel down. How did I do that? I'll tell you what. You guys just messaged me. This is what I'm talking about. Like, it washes out of clothes though, thank goodness. So if you do get it on your clothes, no worries. You can wash it just like everything else. So I'm not going to save this weird teal gray blend here that I'm creating. Alright, I think we're good. Actually, I think I'm going to lay a damp towel down on the top part. I'm fairly sure that it dried a little too much. If it dries on your silk screen when you pull it up, it stays on the silk screen. So we will just set this to the side for just a few minutes while I talk about, my hands are wet now, great. So while I talk about the reverse canvas and tell you guys what that is. Just for a minute here. Reverse canvas. Okay, this is a canvas like you buy at the store. It is still wrapped in the plastic. Reverse canvas is where you use the frame that it's made in to do this. So I took all the staples out of a frame just like this and painted it black. It's a work in progress though. I still have to paint the inside a little bit. But this is the frame that the canvas came in. And so you paint the frame and then you use the canvas. We'll go ahead and pull this up. So So you always pull your transfers from top to bottom or side to side. You try your best not. So let's see what this looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this. It turned out so good. I'm super excited. It's always great when it turns out the way you want it to. Sometimes they don't. So here's this, and I'm holding it this way because my hands are still a little bit damp. But oh my gosh, I'm super excited about this. I was thinking I might put this in my daughter's room because her bedding is gray and teal, but I really like it, so I might actually keep it for myself and put it someplace else where I can see it every day. So anyway, that's how cool that is. I'm super excited about that. All right, I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry. And then I'll pull out the other. I'm done with my tie teal for today, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up. Like I said, I left the lid off, so it might have dried it out a little bit, but the next time I use it, I'll just put a squirt or two of water in there and it'll be perfectly fine. Okay, so, bushel and a pack. I've seen some really cute designs with this one. I have not fuzzed this yet, since I've never used it before. Trying to get my work surface situated here. While I'm talking to you a little bit, I'll go ahead and put some of this gray back in my little vial here so I don't waste my paste. So reverse canvas. You cut the canvas or off the back. I've seen people cut it off, but I pulled my staples. I just thought when I put the canvas back on, I didn't want the staples to be in the way. So what you do is you take your staples out or your canvas off, however you want to, and then paint your frame, or don't. Some people like the raw wood. It's up to you. And then you create your design on your canvas, being careful to keep it within like what you'll be seeing. Then you put the canvas back on the opposite side, hence the term reverse. And it looks so cute. It's like a framed piece of art that costs hardly anything because canvases like this are super inexpensive at the store. It's a great way to make some home decor without spending a ton of money to do it. So anyway, here's my little vial. I got my gray paste in there now. Now I have some gray to use until I can order that elephant gray from Chalk Couture. And here is my cut off piece of canvas with my frame here. So this is a large piece of canvas, and this next, this bushel and a peck thing is really big. I'll have to work a little quick with this, and maybe I might thin down my paste a little bit more before I use it, just so I won't have to worry about doing it so much. So here's what I did. I wanted to make sure that this would fit inside the frame once I got it all laid out. So I cut off my canvas and I laid this out with this underneath just to be certain that once I was done, you would be able to see the full design inside the frame. I've seen some people, and I'm sure it was just they just didn't know, but they did their design, and when they laid their frame back down, it was either right at the edge or the edge of the frame covered their design just a little bit. And I was like, oh, that's too bad because it's so cute. You can't even see the whole deal. So I laid it out. It works perfectly. I can't remember what size this is. And of course this came in a multi-pack, so it doesn't have the size on it. I would say 18 by 24, or somewhere around there, 18 by 21, I'm not sure. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do with that. And when I'm finished, like after my project dries and I'm ready to assemble the entire thing, like once I've finished painting the inside of my frame and the whole deal, I would turn my frame over, and this is why I pulled the staples off. You'll put this back onto the back side, and my intention is to make a nice even edge across the back. So I'm gonna fold under the sides of my canvas and staple them back down, making sure that it's not so wide of a fold that you can see this edge from the other side. So that I have a nice clean edge. I know some people like to put like a brown craft paper on the back just to hide the finished edges, but I think this will look really smooth once it's all stapled down this way. And also, I don't know if you all have upholstered before, but this is similar to an upholstery, except that canvas will stretch on its bias. So just like any other fabric, if you pull it at an angle, it'll give a little more stretch than if you pull it straight across or straight this way. So whenever you're upholstering or doing anything like this, what you really want to do is to make sure that you're doing a little bit on each side and then pulling the same side across so you don't get a weird wrinkle in your project whenever you're finished. It's kind of tough to work with sometimes, but once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. Also, I'll be using a staple gun, and my husband's nervous about that. I had an incident with a staple gun before that involved a ER and a pair of pliers. We won't talk about that today, but anyway, that you have to be careful. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so for this one, I've been going back and forth about it, but just to make it a little more simple, and because my frame is black, I've decided to do just red in certain spots. So I'm gonna do like love you with the little dots. Love you, all the wording except for the and the are gonna be black. And then the and, the little hearts, and any other little accents on here, I'm going to do in red. So it's just going to be black and red with a black frame. I think it's going to look super cute when it's done. Once again, I'm going to have to fuzz this transfer. So I had to get a large kitchen towel out to be able to do this, but it won't be any big deal. And again, it's on canvas, so it's not going to stick like it would on glass or chalkboard or even a wood surface that's been painted. Pull this out real quick. Set it off to the side. I set all this up before you guys came, but what I have sitting out here, I have a pan of water that is not going to be big enough for this transfer, so I'm going to have to wash it off in the sink when I'm finished. But I have a pan of water to put my transfers in. I have all of my chalk paste, my surfaces, I have stir sticks and a spray bottle. I also have paper towels and Clorox wipes. After you get finished with your transfers and you get them all nice and wiped off, you wipe the back of the adhesive to defuzz them, so that they'll go back on your transfers, oh no, and last as long as possible. So I just stuck the adhesive together, barely there. It came apart easily because I didn't smash it together, but it can stick to itself pretty severely sometimes. I had one do that just earlier today, and I just got it in some water and worked it apart slowly. It didn't damage the adhesive at all. I just didn't get in a hurry about it, that's all. I was being really careful. So I'm fuzzing this transfer, just laying it on a towel and picking up some extra fuzz so that it's not quite as sticky. Hey Kara, sorry. I didn't see you join me. Who else we got here? Kara Blake was on here a minute ago. It's the middle of the day. I don't expect a lot of people to show up this time of day, but my son's napping, so this is the best time for me to do this. My oldest son does not go to kindergarten today. They have the weirdest schedule here. It's Mondays for him, Mondays, Thursdays, and every other Wednesday, and let me tell you how hard that is to keep track of. I forget. I've had to call the school at least once and ask, hey, is today the day that my son goes to school? Even his teacher was like, we just don't like this either. It's too weird. So I'm going to lay this out as evenly as I can without getting my hair in it. The cursive long hair. And I'm able to even it up a little bit better because there's a folded edge here that was the part that was wrapped around the outside edge of the frame when the canvas was stapled to it. So this is a really good guideline because the frame is pretty straight for me to make sure that I'm getting this straight inside the deal here. Let's see. What do I got down here? That looks pretty even. So I'm going to lay this out this way. And like I said, try not to ever stretch your transfers at an angle. Now when you're doing it this way, it's not a big deal like because it's laying flat. But whenever you pull it up, don't pull it by this. You can stretch them and it'll mess up the transfer and the design. It won't lay flat easily again after that. Alright, so it's best, I think, to do the detail work first. So I'll start with the red simply because the black will go down pretty quick. I'm going to do the red thick so it won't dry as quickly. Also, I'm going to thin it down some so it'll dry even slower. And I have my little squeegees. I guess I better rinse this off a little bit before I try to use it again. Just so I don't get little crumbly pieces of dry chalk paste in my clean, nice work that I'm trying to do. Alright, let's see here. It doesn't have to be completely like stain free for this because I'm using black on black. It's not gonna make any difference. I just want to make sure I don't have extra paste on it. And I'm going to use a wider angle for these letters because they're so big. Even for some of it, I might even turn it on its side and use the bigger area, because if you can smear across it this way, you don't get that weird line that's left by the edge when you have too much paste on your work. But I also want to make sure that I don't touch the canvas, because if I get a little bit of black paint on my fingers and touch it on here, you can wipe it off some, but it'll leave like a little stain because the black is so pigmented. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my red here. You can see how thick that is. That is way thicker than it needs to be. I got a clean wand here. So this one's probably going to use a little bit more water. And also, like I said, I want to thin it down so it won't dry as quickly while I'm working with the bigger letters for the black. So I hope everybody's having a good Friday. We're supposed to have some family come and visit tomorrow, but the weather's going to be kind of nasty here overnight and in the morning, so they opted to come Sunday instead. So, and I'm picking up groceries from Clicklist, so I don't even have to go to the grocery store, which is pretty cool. I do have to get a few things that I can't get at Clicklist, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that this weekend. I might just take the time to just chill. Cool, so I've got that one set up. I'm going to thin this down just a little bit and then I'll be ready to go. Black, here we go. So y'all can see how simple this is. I mean, it takes a little bit like to get everything out, but you don't have to have such a large setup like I do. And you don't have to be super crafty to make this work. I know some people just say, I'm just not good at crafts, or it's just too much, or I can't come up with my own ideas. Hello, you don't have to come up with your own ideas. You don't have to take the time to hand paint lettering and all of that kind of stuff. I used to do that a lot, and it looks really great. I'm not knocking people who do that in the least. It's a talent, and it's time consuming, and if you have the time to do it, awesome. But I don't have the time to do it. I have 4 kids. The oldest is 12. She's involved in all kinds of stuff. The youngest is 2, and he is all over the place. So I need a craft like this. Easy to do, looks cute when you're done, and you can quickly take out and quickly put away. I can't do this stuff with my sons. I tried to earlier, and he kept trying to play in my pan of water, and he wanted to touch my paste. When I was doing the frame, little painted frame on that other canvas, it was just a hassle. And then every time I try to do it, I remember why I don't do it more often, because he's just a handful. I think I'm going to use this one too. Clean it off so I can use it for my red. These wipe off so easily. If you're interested in ordering these, I tell you what, the small squeegees are out of stock on our website until the end of next week. I got an email yesterday about it, talking about how this out of stock stuff, when it's going to be handled. Chalk Couture is really awesome because they keep us really updated, like with details about what they're doing, like what the issues are. We're aware of the issues, we're solving the issues. And let me tell you guys, I placed an order, was it Monday? No, Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know, what's today, Friday? I placed an order just the other day at like 9:30 in the morning, or 9 o'clock in the morning. At 10:30, I got an email saying that they had already printed a shipping label and my package was out for shipping. I checked the next morning and the post office had already sent it. It's supposed to be here Saturday. That's like insanely fast. And their customer service is amazing. I got a transfer that was a little bit damaged, just a little. So I took a picture, I sent it to him, I told him, hey, this is kind of messed up. I don't know if it's going to affect the final outcome. And they said, don't worry about it. We'll send you a new one. And they did, just like that. It was really cool. So their customer service is amazing. It's like, I'm really, really surprised, to tell you the truth. Okay, so my hearts are going to be red, and so are all my little details. So I'm just going to slap this on here. Kind of thick, but I want to keep my thick line away from my letters so I don't have to eke around them so much whenever I'm throwing my black down. Because I'm not doing an ombre on this. I don't want them mixing. Like I said, this is kind of a larger transfer, so I'm going to work a little bit faster than I normally would, just so I don't have to worry about this. And you can see how quick and easy this goes on with these little squeegee things. You know, and if you really want to order some of this stuff today and you're like, oh man, but they don't have the squeegees, you can get a little spatula from the dollar store. It'll work similar. It's not as easy to use, but you know, in a pinch, that'll work until they can get the stock issue fixed. And if you jump over to my VIP page, I'll have a little information over there about maybe a little way to help you out with that too. The link is on this page, so if you're interested in my VIP page, I give you more details. I can offer some things on there that I don't do on this business page. Okay, about to get the red done here. Let me double check, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Nope, looks good. This last little bit of dots here, and then I am square on my red. Then I'll slap that black down, and we will be good to go. The red and black. Ooh, that's close. Y'all see what I just did? I'll clean this off as best I can and get right up on this. Just a smidge. Good thing is though, I'm laying black down. I don't think you'll be able to see it hardly at all when the time comes. And if you do, maybe it'll make some cool effect that I didn't expect, and I'll like it even more. I guess we'll find out, won't we? And if I don't like it, you guys, seriously, I can always just slap this transfer back down after it dries and add more black on top of it, and you won't even be able to tell there was any issue there to begin with. So I'm done with my red. I'm just going to put the little cap back on there so it won't dry out. And then go with my black here. What did I say? I was going to use this bigger side today for this. Black and red, classic colors here. Elegant, isn't that what they say? I don't know if I'd call a bushel and a peck elegant, but the colors are nice. So I'll smooth this down here. Chalk Couture is pretty cool. If you guys are interested, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either purchase products from me, or I'm going to be setting up some sample kits here soon that are free. So if that's something you're interested in, I just ask that you pay shipping for those, just a few bucks. And also, you can sign up too. I signed up without even trying the product. I saw it and was like immediately interested because this is the kind of thing that I like to do. So, oh my gosh, like, and I have not been disappointed in the least. It's $100 to sign up. You get 8 transfers and these little thank you cards here. They're super cute. I set them out just because they say Chalk Couture and it's so cute. And you get an apron, and you get a small squeegee and an angled squeegee. You get, what else? 5 chalk paste colors. You get a lot of stuff. I'm talking more than I'm working here. It'll look great when it's done. So anyway, this is super cool. I'm gonna have to use my smaller squeegee to get in between some of these letters now that I'm seeing this. Yeah, signing up, it's $100. It's like $230 worth of stuff that you get in the starter kit, and their requirements are super easy. You have to have, I think it's $200 or $150 every quarter, so that's what, every 3 months. And they give you incentives like designer dollars, which is credit for their stuff. So, you know, if you sell $200 worth of product in a month, I mean, not $200 worth of product, $200 at your cost, which is 40% off if you're a designer. And they give you $20 in designer dollars to use towards the purchase of more of their stuff. So, like, you know, you're getting cash back. It's 10% basically after $200, and every $200 after that. So it looks like I'm using a lot of paste, and I am at first, but once I get finished making sure all of this is covered really well, then I scrape most of this off. good. I'm super excited. And this is the biggest transfer I've worked on so far. They have some that were bigger than this. They have a video online that I saw. It took 2 people to pull it off evenly, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's huge. We have some ginormous chalkboard surfaces too that we sell, and they're magnetic and they are awesome. I'm gonna try to save up my designer dollars to get one. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna scrape all this black off of here. Wait a minute, I gotta get that little spot. There we go. Set that there. Like I said, if this gets on my table, I'm not even worried about it. Okay. Scrape off the extra, save it, because it's awesome and you don't want to waste it. I'm probably going about this the wrong way, like when I have up next to my other stuff. Another thing you want to do is be careful, try not to get off the edge of your transfer. That way you don't get off to the side there and mess up your cool looking project. Although I suppose you could turn it into another border if you really wanted to. Be creative with it. Make your mistake into a design decision. So this is one of the bigger ones that I've worked with, and like I said, I'm doing this as a reverse canvas. After I get this all finished here and pull the thing off, I'll show you guys what it's going to look like when it's totally done. Also, you can go on my page later on and I will have a picture of the finished project. Maybe not today, because my son will be getting up and I can't have a staple gun out with my 2-year-old running around. I don't think that would fly very well. Actually, I don't really see a lot of blobs where my red is, so I'm probably not gonna try to smooth that too much. Just trying to make sure I don't have any extra that mixed with the black a little bit there, so a little bit here. All right, looks like I'm about ready to pull this. Yeah. So it pulls off the canvas pretty easily. You have to work at it sometimes with the glass, even after you fuzz your transfer for a minute. Oh, it turned out great. There you go. Well, that's exciting. I'm gonna lay this on some paper I have over here, sticky side up. Because you know, who doesn't keep ads and magazine scrap paper all over their dining room table all the time? But here it is, all finished. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. And then once I get my frame all done and lay it down on here, it's gonna look pretty much like this. Let me see what you guys are seeing here. So just as a sample here, I'm gonna kind of pick it up just a little bit and hold it like that. So this is what you guys can do at home. And you saw how easy that was. And all I have to do if I'm completely done for the day is to wash my transfers off in water and then rub the rest of the chalk paste off with like a paper towel, and then clean the adhesive side of my transfer with a Clorox wipe, lay them right back onto the white pieces of paper that they come on. There's 2 sides. One is kind of a matte finish and one's a really high gloss. They go on the high gloss side so they peel off really easily. And then I'm finished. Like, I can literally just start cleaning all this stuff off, put it up, and I'm done for the day. This will be dry before I even finish cleaning up. That's how quick it is. And then I'll be completely finished with everything. Of course, I'm not finished for the day. I'm gonna keep doing some stuff. But I appreciate you all joining me. And if you have any questions, please message me. If you want to order, I will put my shop address on this post, or you can message me and I can order some stuff for you, and it might save you a little bit of money on the shipping side. So just let me know what you want to do. Thanks.